If you get stressed before a call, well, there is nothing you can do about it. Just kidding, and it's not just me saying it, it's also the science. If you think stress is bad, I will give you the most important tool to help make stress your new best friend. It's used by top athletes, top performers in all disciplines, and the beauty is you can even use it in your next stressful call, if you have one today. It comes from the research of a Dr. Elia Crum that tells us that basically we have two ways to think about stress. The first one is to think that stress is something that is negative and that's not going to help us. The second way to think about it is to actually think that stress is something that's going to help us achieve better. The first thing to realize is that usually when we're stressed is because we're stressed about a certain outcome. We're attached to the result. So for example, during a sales call, we're attached to making sure that we're going to have a good call, that we're going to get to the next step, and eventually we're going to close the deal. And the idea is simply to put most of our thoughts into thinking that stress is actually going to help us. What she calls the mindset of stress is enhancing. And there are 3 steps to actually own your stress and to make it useful. The first step is to see your stress and see where it is coming from. For example, in the sales call, we are stressed because we are talking to the economic buyer, or there is a lot of risk on the deal, we want to make sure we mitigate it. The second step is to actually own your stress. For example, if you think about having a conversation with the economic buyer, think that this conversation will help you be better at having conversations with economic buyer, for example. And finally, the final step is to use it. So use the stress. Now that you have all the elements, use it as a way, as a force to drive you forward instead of pulling you back. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.